are a global community equipped to troubleshoot the technology that runs the world. Join our community, learn, collaborate, and let's become together masters of troubleshooting and monitoring. Welcome you to Netdata community.
We are live. This is Blake, community at Netdata. I am joined with Inato, the product troublemaker at Netdata, and our person of the hour, Thiago, our EBF troublemaker at Netdata. This is our very first ever Netdata meetup by the community, for the community, where we're going to show demos, take your questions. We're going to take you deeper into our product. So if you have ideas, things you want to see, be sure to go let us know on GitHub discussions, on Discord. Reach out to us. Netdata Meetup is your platform to learn more about Netdata. You've got a use case, something you want to show of your Netdata setup, let us know. We'd love to have you on the show. Come ask your questions, things like that. Thiago's got an amazing presentation that he's going to walk through today. It's going to be super exciting. We're about to turn it over to him. So this is Blake, community at Netdata. And Nato, as you just saw in that video, so we've got Volt Hosting saying hello, Volt Hosting, and Nato, our product troublemaker at Netdata on the community team. If you want to say a few words to our Netdata community.
It's a pleasure to be here, but today Thiago is the guy here that will show to us a lot of good stuff in Netdata. So I'm very anxious to watch this demo.
Awesome. Very cool. So, Thiago, we are going to turn it over to you. Feel free to let people know a little bit about yourself, love of eBPF, where you're from, and then feel free to take it away. So, Thiago, you are in good hands in that data community with Thiago, one of the most passionate, experienced. They're fired up to connect us all together. Thiago, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Blake. Thank you, Renato. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Thiago. I am a developer here at Netdata since 2019. I started working with computers in reality in 1999, and I never stopped it. But I am in reality a physicist in the graduation. What are you going to do here today? Well, when we started this meetup, we thought that the first thing that we should show for you is how to use Netdata. Sometimes Netdata can be complicated for the people because we have thousands of metrics, but this is not the correct vision. In reality, we are going to show for you today that Netdata is simple to use and easy to monitor your whole infrastructure. So to do this, I'm using today the Netdata Cloud. I'm already here connected with some hosts, and I will go to explain for you how to add a new host and how to monitor them from scratch. So when I enter in Netdata Cloud, in my left side, I will have all the war rooms that I already configured. On center, I will have on top some information related to the time I'm collecting data. I have here a demonstration of how many nodes are online and the number of people that can access my dashboard. I also have different tabs here that I can use to understand better what's happening in my network. But before we go step by step in each one of these areas, I would like to explain for you better what is Netdata. Netdata is a complete monitor system. This means that we will not only collect data for you. We will collect, we will process, and we will notify you when something unexpected or something wrong happens on your system. And how are you collecting this data? Netdata has different collectors. Some of them are internals, others are external. And you can also write your own collector and integrate with our structure to understand better what's happening in a specific software or a specific hardware on your environment. How are we organizing the metrics? As you can see initially here in our dashboard, we have different charts that are organized in the better way to simplify your understanding. But if you want and you wish to work with the raw data, it's also possible to do this. But this will be subjects for another meetup. For today, I will be concentrated only in the overview of Netdata. About the data collection, well, sometimes we are mainly nowadays that everything is changing every time. We want to know the information as soon as possible. On the other hand, we also know that some tools or some software running on my computer are not so important, between quotes here, than others. So you can configure your collectors. By default, Netdata will start with collecting around 1 second. Of course, we have other plugins that are collecting in microseconds, like eBPF plugin. But they're configurable for you have the best experience possible. Is Netdata painful on my host? Fortunately, no. And thanks to this, we are collecting the data to have the lowest impact possible, as we can see in the future. Is Netdata storing my data? Yes, this is a very good question, and it's something that we should have concerns. And I would like to clarify this because data is really important. When Netdata stores the data, it stores locally on your computer. I'm here accessing the cloud, seeing the global information, because the Netdata cloud is requiring for my local computers the data. But we are never storing your data there. Your data is only yours. We are only giving conditions for you to access your whole infrastructure from any place of the world. So you do not need to have concerns about your data. But we are storing locally to have conditions to show for you and calculate the necessary data. And now, finally, an important question, 2 important questions in reality. It's simple to install Netdata. Yes, fortunately, with 1 command line, I will show here for you. We will install Netdata and we will start monitoring a virtual machine. And probably the most important question that is around the head of everybody now is, okay, you gave fantastic answers. These are the answers expected from everybody, but can you prove this? Yes, of course. So let me stop to speak and let you see how to do the things with Netdata. So the first thing that I'm doing, I'm already here in my computer's war room. I will close this left bar for we have a better vision, and I will add a new computer here. So I will come here in computers, add nodes, and Netdata will give for me already 2 different commands to install Netdata. So I will copy one of them, and I'm going here inside my Vagrant machine, virtual machine, pasting, and let's go. Netdata already detected that we do not have any specific package to install Netdata. So while it is doing download here, let's just talk a little bit about our dashboard. And we will return there to finish the installation. The dashboard at Netdata, the main dashboard at the cloud, will have initially these 7 different charts that will give me a role vision about my computer. We have in the left side information related to hard disks. We have in the center information for my CPU. In the right side, we have the information about inbound and outbound network traffic and the run that my computer is using. But this is not enough to understand the possible problems. Of course, if I see that my CPU is 100% used, so it's indicative that this is a possible problem. But to understand better this, I need to get even more data, even more information. So how can I see this information? Netdata organizes the data for you here in the right side in different submenus that will allow you to understand better each one of these features and even more. For example, for swap, I can come here and verify what's happening there. So, but before this, yes, if the download is gone, so I'm saying yes, I want to install Netdata, and it's gone. And now Netdata is already installed on my machine. And it will appear here soon for you to understand what's happening also in this virtual machine. So back to the swap. Let's understand what's happening here. The first thing that I can see in this specific chart is the fact that I have my swap completely free. This means that all hosts in my environment are not using swap right now. Why am I saying all hosts? Because right now I'm in the overview tab. This means that I'm having the role vision of my infrastructure. And now I'm already counting 3 nodes here. I had only 2 online, and now I had 3 because the installation was finished with success. I also have here specific information because I enabled a plugin to detect that the I/O events on my swap. Well, I said to you that I enabled, but how can I do this? Is it necessary? I have good news for you. Netdata in normal situation detects everything by default. We disabled some of them because they can have a big overload. And everything that I'm saying here, it's well described. So you can come from any place of our networks and our dashboard. You will have links for our learning.netdata.cloud, and you can read the information there. You can learn more about Netdata there. But for today, I am here, so let's return here for the system overview and take a look in the next group of charts. The disk I/O, we have read and write information. But to monitor disk, it's not something so simple. Because disk, we can have problems in the hardware, but we also can have problems in different levels of disk. And to simplify your understanding, Netdata creates 3 different submenus for you. We have the disk itself, that has a direct relationship with the hardware. We also have the mount points that will show for you your partitions, information about your partition, how they mounted it, and also the file systems that is on top of each mount point. So the 3 levels that we have for disks are completely covered with Netdata. I will give you more details about these metrics when you monitor a specific rows. Right now, let's return for the system overview to take a look a little bit more about the networks stuff. The CPU, sorry. Let's move the CPU from left to right. Okay, I can see that I'm using 41% of the CPU. This is a metric very important in different areas. For example, if I'm running a math simulation, I want to have these values around 100%. If you are a gamer, you want to run an overclock, you want to know if this overclock is going fine. Can I know everything using Netdata? Can I verify this information? Of course, and for this we have the CPU information. The CPU data we have, since the CPU utilization, going through interrupt, software IQ, and CPU frequency. And here I can see that all the 4 CPUs that I'm running right now are running as expected, the frequency that's expected to run. So let's move back to system overview and talk now about the network. Network, I jumped to it because it's so complicated like disk. To monitor networks, not to monitor if something is going in and out. There are a lot of stages that we have to monitor. And thanks to this, Netdata has different submenus organizing the information. So network stack gives to you channels that we are using to monitor, like broadcast, the TCP protocol, and multicast. We are in transition from the IPv4 to IPv6 protocol, and the Netdata also gives to you information for each one of these protocol versions. And of course, if you are transmitting data, we need a channel, we need a door to send and receive the information. And for this, Netdata is also monitoring your network interfaces. And if you have wireless, of course, we will also add a wireless interface monitoring for you. Back on top, we have the run here. Probably you are thinking, roll down, Thiago. Swap is always run, a kind of memory, not run, sorry. It's a kind of memory. Why do I have swap in one side and run mode in another side? So answer it by steps. Yeah, swap is a memory, But to access swap, there is two conditions basically. When the run is completely filled, or if you configure your system. We isolated the run in one side, not to give for you a clear vision about the hardware. And the swap that has relationship with the hard disk is together the hard disk. So we decide to organize them by hardware. So going to run now, let you see, according to Netdata, our current monitoring, all the hosts, the three hosts that are online right now are not using completely the run that they have available. I have available around 13 gigas of RAM. We also have different metrics for memory here, like slab, huge pages, and kernel. And I will stay here for a while. As you can see, we have different charts. I'm going a little bit fast because of our goal is to show for you everything. But when we go to the chart, it's not only important that the information is meaningful, but it is also important for you to see the data correctly. So the first thing that you need to have in mind, if you can't see what we have here because it's too small, no problem. Extend it. You can position it to your mouse on bottom and extend a little bit. So let's keep our focus only in this information. As you can see, this specific chart, it has two different metrics. It has the dirt page and it also has the write back. Here on top, we have more details about each one of these informations. If you pay attention to these dimensions right now, you can see that the write back has a point very small here. If you put your mouse on top of it, Netdata will show for you in this exact moment how was the amount of dirty values and write back that we had. But sometimes the superposition cannot help us so much. So we need to select the proper dimension to understand a little bit better what's happening. And voila, Netdata also gave a zoom for you. The data was not changed. It only amplifies for you the visualization for you understanding even more what's happening for that specific dimension. But as you can see, unfortunately, I still have a value very, very small here. No problem, you can give a zoom your chart. And now you are able to see that around the 5 p.m. I was transferring 3.9 megabits, sorry. And of course, after your analysis, you can return for the previous version and continue monitoring everything and let me unselect again the write back, and voila, we have the data now. This is something that I wanted to show for you because sometimes it's necessary to give the zoom to understanding even more what's happening. And now you can say, oh, nice, Netdata is showing me everything in my network. But is this the best way to understand what's happening? The global answer is yes. I'm seeing that my rolling network that right now has only 3 computers is moving fine. But we also know that it's completely possible one big machine hide information for a small machine. And if a small machine have troubles, I need to go there. And to do this better, what we will do? We'll go to nodes, hosts, and I can clearly see here that I have a host with problems. And this was forced. I turned off the laptop to be sure that something would be wrong here. So I can see that I need to go there and turn on the computer. My Arch-Linux machine is also showing here some information since the moment it was installed. But I will see my laptop and show the information that's happening right now on this host. So I selected the computer heads there in nodes and Netdata open a new tab here for you. And now I can go deeper and understand what's happening on this Rust. So let's go back to the disks that I said for you that monitor all the disks that I have in the Rust. In the global vision, it's complicated. We specify each one because different machines have different partitions. But when you go direct for that specific host, we can clearly see that on this host, I have 9 different partitions. I can also see the multi points for these specific rows, and I can see if they filled size available, and if I should take some action on them. Finally, I have the file system information that will have the highest level possible. Here we have from different plugins, only this for eBPF plugin. We are monitoring what's happening with the file system, the latency, and also the file access. And probably now you are thinking, okay, I'm monitoring file access, but file access is not done by some magic event. Some proxies is doing this, some application is doing this. Is it possible to use Netdata to monitor my application and understand if there is a bug on it? And the answer is yes. So the file access and the eBPF plugin is completely integrated with applications. And in case you come here, you have the information specific per application. Take a look that we are giving a zoom in this step to understand my network. I started with the overview, seeing 3 hosts. Now I selected a specific host. And finally, I take a look in my applications running on Rust to understand even more what's happening. And I can see here, if I select, for example, one of the specific threads, the other doesn't emit a lot. Sorry, let me get the system. So I can see that my system is not open a lot of files right now. On the other hand, if I go in a specific plugin like eBPF plugin, I can see that it needs more files to work. And this is very, very good, but not only for the files that we are monitoring your applications. Like we saw for the overview and for this roast, we also have the CPU usage per application. We have disk usage per application. Oh, good. The I/O events are not so high. I/O events always can slow down. And finally, the memory usage per application. And here, curiosity for you. I don't know if you know, but when I select a specific application here, like Apps plugin, I'm seeing that it's using around, 120 megabytes of memory. I don't know if you know, but each application does not have the vision of how much memory I really have in the roast. They have a completely different vision. And it is a tip that will show now, a class that will give to you right now. So let's go here in my computer. My computer has officially 16 gigabytes of RAM. So if I take a look in one of the proxies that's running the system init in proc1 maps, I can see what is the software vision of the memory. If you convert these values for gigabytes, you see that this is bigger, even very, very bigger, compared with my 16 gigabytes of RAM. Another curiosity about our current proxies, let's take a look now about Netdata. Let's see the Netdata pit. So Netdata pit is right now, 16996. So let's take a look in this specific map. And here's something I want to show for you. Let me give a zoom. Take a look in this specific address. We have here in the beginning 7FE. And when I go to my init system, for the same file, I have 7F7. These values are different to avoid some attackers on your computer. And how the computer know the exactly memory a proxy is using? Is this in disagreement with the computer? Is Netdata wrong? No, that's correct. What the computer does behind the scenes and nobody see is a linear transformation to convert that awesome address that we saw that are not possible to have in this machine for the real address. And as you know, this is only possible because physics is everything and the math is everywhere. Let me open brackets here. Thanks, Dr. Don Lincoln, for the phrase, physics is everything. I agree with you. Now back to Netdata because we are here for this. All right, so great. I saw that I can give a zoom. I learned something about how the computer works, but now I have a problem that is in my mind. let's just think this follow situation. I have here only 3 computers. If Netdata only delivers for you graphics for computers, you could have big troubles if you have 1,000 rusts. This means that Netdata would not give you a tool to monitor your host. Netdata would deliver to you a tool to destroy your life, because to take a look in all the charts, all the metrics, you would consume your whole day every day. So to monitor everything, Netdata also delivers to you the alerts. These are a very, very important part of Netdata, because if something wrong happens, Netdata have the full alarms that you send to you notification like I'm receiving here. As you can see, I had one warning 38 minutes ago for my local computer, and I also have problems in other computers here. And I'm receiving this notification for I go there, take a look, and to do some action. So let's go here. Let me change computer, because this computer here is running a real mathematical simulation. It's a simple matrix multiplication with more than 10,000 lines. So as you can see, there was a specific moment that the value went to the even. And this was a little bit expected, because I'm storing information in database. So these peaks are the exact moment that data is moving from memory direct to disk. But this is not something that we want all the time. My understanding for the specific alarm is, okay, for what's running here, this is fine. So if some alarm is not reporting you what you are expecting, you want to adjust them. For example, if you want to run them 100% of time, this is completely possible. That is not static. You can go there and change it. As I said in the beginning, if you need to monitor a specific application, you need your own plugin, you can also do this. And now I'm letting for the end something awesome for you. Okay, and if I do this, how much do I need to pay? This is the good news. Nothing. Netdata Agent and the Netdata Cloud is free for you. So it's completely open source. You won't need to pay nothing, and you can monitor your role infrastructure. And now, before I give the word back for my friends, I want to show for you one more specific thing. As you can see, I saw the charts completely red. I did not configure nothing. To prove this, let me back for my nodes. As you saw, I installed Arch Linux, and the same information that I had for other rusts, I will have it here as soon as it shows some data for us. I love it when this is happening. But sometimes you want to know a little bit more about specific areas. So we can also configure specific dashboards that will show specific information for specific metrics. And this is also possible with Netdata. You can always add a new chart. You can also add a new rows for and monitor specific areas. You are not locked. You are not a slave of the system. You are free to change and to do what you want with Netdata, because for us, what is more important is for you to monitor your system and have calm and to know that everything is going fine for you do other things in your area and concentrate in your other areas of your network and softwares. So that's what we had to show today. My network is having some troubles here, clearly, because I'm not having data from a host I accessed a few minutes ago in that alarm. So thank you very much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoy this demonstration we are showing for you. That's simple to use Netdata. And we plan to do even more meetups like this to exemplify and give more details about each one of the metrics that we have. So Blake, thank you very much. That's with you right now. Let's go for my favorite moment, the questions and answers.
All right, Diago, that's amazing. So I got Renato back up here with us today. So we had Bolt Hosting asking about our paid plans. We have Miguel out there on our team from Portugal. Amazing presentation. So at this juncture of our first ever Net Data meetup, if you have questions, anything at all about net data, something you want to learn more about, or a question around something you saw Thiago talk about today, it is Friday. So we're like one step away from you on the weekend, maybe, but let us know. We'd love to hear what's your feedback on using net data, right? Give us your feedback, put it into the chat, have a question, anything. We've got Thiago himself here. Thiago, we're also working with to just do some eBPF presentations as well. So very exciting for that. So let's get some of the feedback we're getting from you, Thiago. So Ilya says, I enjoyed it. Thanks, Thiago. Thank you for that. And then out of the UK, Volt Hosting says, thank you for your presentation. And then
You're
out
welcome,
of
guys.
Portugal, Miguel on our community team says, enjoyed it a lot. Great to see a real world use case. Definitely agree with that. Any other? Oh, wow. And then Jenny out of Florida says, very insightful. So if you're using Netdata today, what's your feedback? What do you like about it? Is there stuff that you want? Oh, we got a question. Here we go from the UK. Here you go for Thiago. Volt Hosting asks, when do you think that you'll release webhook notifications?
Good question. We are always adding new notifications. We are always also receiving some PRs and commits from different users. We have a plan not only to extend the list that we already have, but we also have the plan to improve some of them. So my suggestion, not only for you, but for other users, our priority depends on the user's engagement. If a lot of people require this, oh, I want this kind of feature, you should monitor this, go in GitHub, raise some noise, and you will prioritize this. We already have a plan to improve our tool right now, but I cannot say exactly when we are bringing this webhook because I'm more concentrating collector right now. But for sure, our goal is to monitor everything one day we'll have it. And if you can create a new notification, a new issue at the Netdata requiring a feature request, we'll take a look on this and see what's necessary. If it's simple and there is a simple API, we can go there and bring it as soon as possible. If it's not, we plan to bring for you, who knows, this semester, this year. We need you to take a look better in the tool to integrate with Netdata.
All right. Thanks for that, Thiago. And then Angelo says, any experience with Cisco IOX, Docker on Cisco networking hardware?
I worked with Cisco in the beginning of the century. I confess for you, I'm a few years already without to work with any Cisco router or anything like this, probably more than 10 years, unfortunately. But yes, I have the experience. And now about Docker and hardware monitoring. The eBPF plugin itself has integration with Docker and cgroups. So if you enable it, you will be able to collect the information related to that specific network and the Docker containers. But exclusively for Cisco hardware, I don't think we have it right now, but it would be awesome to monitor this hardware again, to work with Cisco again if it's necessary.
All right. And then Angelos also makes a comment. I'll put it up. Great stuff, guys. Using Netdata to monitor my own Linux host. So very cool with that. And then we've got our Volt Hosting out of the UK says, thanks for providing a great platform. Yeah, Friday, still got some meetings. Have a great day. Thanks for the stream. So it's great that, great job, Diego. And then let's see, Angelo says, excellent, thanks. So we got you taken care of. Any other questions or feedback that you have? Well, we've got Diego himself here. Put a link over to our GitHub discussions if you want to see what you want to see on future Netdata meetups, or Like if you want to show off your own setup for how you use Netdata to show other people what you're doing, things like that, we would love to have you on a Netdata meetup. Exciting stuff as far as that stuff goes. Any other questions or feedback that you have for us here at Netdata today with Yaga? We definitely enjoy having so many people from around the world to join us live today in our first ever meetup. So put that
So
into chat. Let us know. And
I,
Nato, take it
I'll give
away.
my feedback.
Yes, sir.
No, amazing presentation, Thiago. Thanks a lot. And I have to say that I don't get tired of seeing the magical installation of Netdata. And of course, the awesome graphics. To be honest, like for me, looking at the graphics at Netdata is relaxing. Of course, when there are were no problems, and when there is some problems, I'm calm that alerts and correlation metrics will show me the best path for the solution. And as Thiago, remember, you can all give your feedback anytime on the GitHub discussions and also be part of a community on Discord. They already sent the link of all of them, like the GitHub discussion and Discord. Thank you, Thiago.
All right. So we're just going to. We got a question. So let's go to the. I'll put it up on the screen just as we think here. So Lakshmi asked, how can I monitor my Docker containers using Netdata that's running on a different host?
Well, good question. Well, Netdata collect the data and the information locally. And for these specific containers that are on different routes, my suggestion for you, you could install Netdata in this host and set Netdata as memory mode equal none. This means that it won't save any data there. But of course, this is not exactly what you want. So what you also need to do, you install Netdata in another host, and this Netdata that's on Docker container, running around the Docker containers, will stream data, for another parent, and you will monitor it from this parent to these hosts. This will allow you to save resources for your Docker containers, and you have the information streamed for another host where you can play more and dig the information with more details. Of course, as I said during the demo, that data does not use a lot of resource. You can also consider that you are starting with Netdata, let's consider this way. So you can start and take a look there, how it will monitor. You do not need to do any configuration because Netdata will parse the C groups that are on Rust and show for you the charts. So this is automatically. You can configure the cgroup plugin to some specific monitor if you want, if you do not want to monitor everything. But if you prefer to keep your Rust only with your Docker containers, install Netdata and configure Netdata to send the data for another Rust. So it won't do any I/O on Rust, on disk at least, and this won't impact so much your Docker containers that are the priority for this specific server.
Yeah, thanks for that great question, Lakshmi. No worries being late, anything like that. It is Friday, so we're getting closer to the weekend here. So any other questions, feedback, let us know. Really great. Yeah, so Lakshmi says, thanks. Great to have you here. Any other questions or feedback, let us know. We'll do a quick pause just to kind of see there. And we hope to have also, as we mentioned, we got a new message. So let me just see. Oh, here we go. So Ilya asks, eBPF network monitoring when?
This is simple. I had a meeting with my product manager this morning in my local time, and next week we will bring more charts related to network connections. Netdata already gives some network monitoring for you. Right now we are delivering the bandwidth monitoring. We will extend this next week. We will have also the connection monitor, passive and active connections, Also, we will start to be monitoring if Netdata, everything going fine. Next Friday, you already have it in your Netdata agent.
Nice. And as you can see with our Net Data meetups, we are here to connect with you, answer your questions. So every Net Data meetup, you'll get to connect with our staff. Happy to answer questions, hear your feedback, and show these demos. So these are highly engaging, interactive, so where you can do stuff. And I do have my Net Data I Love Trouble hoodie on. Me and Nato and Miguel are working with some new swag packs that have some really cool Net Data swag. So hit us up if you're looking for stuff. And then Angelos has one more little feedback for us. So Angelo says, "Have a great weekend. Can't wait for the bandwidth monitor." So very cool for that.
Yes, for sure.
And so for me, Anato, Miguel, and community team, we are so thankful for having a global community where we're helping people out to monitor and troubleshoot. Right, so just an amazing place to be at Net Data with so many amazing team members. And for the person of the hour today, we are so thankful on this maiden voice. Oh, one more question from Laximi, so we'll do that before every time we think we're going to go. So Laximi says, "Is bandwidth monitoring coming to Net Data?"
Yes, it will come. But, we are bringing it by steps. Let's organize here the answer. We already have TCP and UDP bandwidth monitoring, but we plan to extend this for other protocols in the future. Right now, our priority will be to extend a little bit the connection information. And I also plan for next week another PR that will do some adjusts for specific environments and to monitor the bandwidth properly. We know that bandwidth monitor something a little bit complicated because we cannot only go and monitor it. It can't impact this. And some servers are having a big incoming, outcoming information. So we are expecting for this quarter yet an additional monitor for network that we also include some adjusts for our TCP and UDP monitoring.
All right. Thanks for that question. So, Thiago, our person of the hour, thank you so much on our very first ever Net Data meetup. Really amazing to see that, as Miguel said, real world kind of scenarios that walking through, talking to community members around the world on a busy Friday. Thanks for everybody that brought us out. I will turn it over to you, Thiago, to take us out. So just give us some parting thoughts, well wishes, things you're looking forward to, and the floor is yours to close out our first ever Net Data meetup.
Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to be here. As Blake already said, there will be another meeting here. Please give your suggestions for we know what you want to learn more. And we'll try to bring here the maximum of information we can, not only related to Netdata, but as some tips as I gave today related to the proxies monitoring, how proxies works on computer. We will always try to bring some subjects related with the Netdata monitoring, not only for you understand how to use Netdata, but for you understand what we are monitoring. So thank you very much for your help. Ping us in GitHub, Discord. Whenever you need, we are here to help you. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Renato.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. How do you say goodbye in Portuguese?
I think tantas. Sorry. There are so many ways to say this. I can say ciao. It's not a common way to say in Portuguese. Ciao. It's
ciao, ciao, everybody. Goodbye for global people. Goodbye. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. On behalf of me, Thiago, and Anato, Miguel, Jennifer, Andy, everybody on our team. Thank you so much for being a part of Net Data.